Eddie Tobias, aka Eddie Nomadic, and I'm here with Papa Don, Ray Campos here at AAPW, coming at you live, talk about what's going on, what you can expect for tomorrow. And today's topic, we're going to be talking about a little bit of old school versus new school style of wrestling, what's changed, what's the same, and of course, go ahead and say hello to our audience here, Papa Don.
Hello, everybody. How's it going this evening?
So, how's the school going so far? No, last week we talked a little bit about the matches. Walk us through what happened last weekend.
Well, the matches went great. We had a good little crowd showed up. The matches went very well. I think the people were very happy, very satisfied. Our show is only 2.5 hours long, so for $10 for 2.5 hours of show, I think it's not a bad price. That went good. We had excellent matches. We had a triple threat match.
Mm-hmm.
We had a tag team match for the tag team titles, which we have not yet to crown a new tag team champion.
Or was it all out brawl that happened in the
It was an all-out
ring?
brawl in the ring, but this week they're going to do a 2 out of 3 falls match, and then we also have some number one contendership match coming up, as well as doing a grudge match, a millennial grudge match. That's in the main event this
So
time.
we got Donnie Giovanni going up against Anthony Rebel again. Last
Right.
time they met, Anthony used whatever strength he could to kind of pull
Yeah,
Donnie's
he
legs
kind of
and
used he kind of used the rope to kind of beat him, but
to get him out of the way.
So I think this time Donnie wants a little revenge
And
we'll
T-Ray's
see.
back. And
T-Ray-
T-Ray got hurt last week.
But T-Ray's finally here, and he is looking for Joe DeMero. He really wants a piece of Joe DeMero big time. So.
I mean, after that work that happened to his legs and what was going on, he still happened to fight, get his way through, and now he's ready for.
He's ready for another one. So right now we also have him going again. We had him going against Zeus, which him and Zeus it was an all-out brawl, and of course Zeus always has his little bodyguard he brings with him. None other than
little
bodyguard. And the guy's 6'9", and he's almost close to 350 pounds. He's over 350 pounds. So
how'd you find Titan, by the way?
Well, Titan. I guess I can say where we found.
Yeah,
Titan.
I mean, because we talked a little bit about the
Titan is
commentary.
a offensive lineman for the University of Texas.
Yep.
And so he's done a lot of publicity for himself as well as for our school at UT, marketing AAPW, showing where he's been going. And of course, he was sent to us by none other than Mark Henry.
That's right.
So Mark Henry sent him our way, and I'm expecting to see Mark Henry here one day to be watching our show. So hopefully that will happen.
We've had a couple of
we've had some
WWE
people
stars
sneak
come in and just kind of take a look.
watch it. Incognito, of course, but
Right.
we don't want to let everyone know that who's coming and what's going on.
Exactly,
We
yeah.
let these guys have their private life as well because they're in the limelight all the time. So
Sometimes they come in and do seminars at the school as well, and that'll start happening.
well, yeah, that's if we call something like that,
Yeah.
and they won't be here. But that's where Titan comes from. He was referred over from none other than Mark Henry. So we'll see.
Awesome.
He's making also very good progress and everything else. So I think the school's going in a great direction right now.
Now, I know DeMero's going up against T-Ray. He keeps saying that he retired, T-Ray, and that he kicked him out. But
if you recall last time, it was DeMero who helped Steve Areno
yes,
dethrone T-Ray for the AAPWA championship. I think T-Ray was one of the longest reigning AAPW champions.
it was for a long time.
Over a year, he's been.
I've
was a
trained for a
champion.
year,
Yeah,
and I
over
think
a
he
year.
was champion
He's
then.
been champion the whole time. So now that he's there, he's mad at DeMero for what he did. So now of course he's got to start from the bottom and work your ways up. But he's going after DeMero. So I think that match is going to be very, very interesting to see a millennial grudge match.
Definitely a big grudge going on there. So now let's talk a little bit about old school style of wrestling versus new school style of wrestling. You are well known for bringing old school style back to AAPW and show George as well, working together. But the storylines that you come up with, and we talked about this on the last podcast, the storylines you come up with engage the audience so much it brings them back every single week. And if they miss out one week, it's kind of a big deal because then they have to be watch some content like this to figure out what the heck happened last week.
Right.
So what have you seen that's changed since old school when you were wrestling to when you retired to what you see on television today? How is what we're doing here a little bit different?
You have to keep the fans interested. You have to keep the fans entertained, and you got to always hook them with something. I think one of the things that has helped me in this business was being in a wrestling organization or being in different organizations where they had a storyline going at one time where they were running a weekly shows or they were running every bi-weekly shows where the people remembered the storylines. And that's one of the things, at one time I was on TV as well in different markets
Mhm.
in Texas as well as Louisiana. Um, so when you have those storylines, you got to be able to know what's going to hook the people and make them return and make them come back. But you can't just throw in a guy, Joe Blow versus Joe Smith because there's nothing there entertaining, I guess. So that what's the story behind that?
Right.
And people want to be interested. They want to be, they want to follow along what's going on and see why is Joe Smith filing Joe, Joe whatever. So if everyone's just popping in against one another, it becomes very boring. You're
Hmm.
not really keeping the fans interested. And I think it's more of a fact that me having a background of actually being a worker for 17 years and not sitting behind a desk and then saying I'm a fan of professional wrestling and I do that. But no, I know what the people are wanting because I've been in that ring and I know what the people are looking for. And that's one of the things that I bring to the table at AAPW because these fans are going to be entertained. And of course, when you're here next week or you're here every week, you hear the people walk in. I want to see who's going to win this
Hmm.
match. I want to know who's going to do this, or I came because I want to see what happens in this match or that match or whatever the case may be. So the people are entertained. They're following along what's going on, and of course, every week there will be another hook for the next
Yep.
week again, and they'll be back again, and they'll be back again. So it's a matter of having a storyline set up for them to be entertained and to follow, not only online when they speak, when they see it or whatever's going on, but see what's
See that?
I want to know what's coming up. So yeah, old school. I'm bringing the old school back. This is what was done back in the 70s and the 80s, and people would sit there and tell me, "Oh, well, this is 2017, 2018. Excuse me.
Yeah.
This is over. We don't do." Well, I'm not knocking wrestling from today, but back then, people were entertained.
Do you think that a lot of the styles that are happening now might get a little bit oversaturated and that bubble might pop and then the old school way will, be the new wave of what fans find more
Well, the
entertaining?
old school never old way never died.
Right.
It was always been there. Now its wrestling has evolved over the years to become what it is now. When you got guys doing flips back and forth, back and forth. Now I'm not saying that's not wrestling. That's their style of wrestling.
Right.
But there's a lot more to it than just having two guys flip back and forth and doing their thing. But you got to have a storyline behind why are they flipping?
Yeah.
What's the purpose of them doing that? And if these guys are both that good, then what are they bringing to the table besides the flips?
Hmm.
And so I think now able to bring the experience of having to been a worker for 17 years and being a wrestler for 17 years and now sitting on this side of the desk, I got all the ends covered. I know exactly what's going on and I know what's going to bring the people back and I know what's going to sell tickets. And that's what I'm doing right now with AAPW is bringing the new talent up and having them entertain the fans. The main thing is having the fans, like I teach my guys here, is having the fans right here in the palm of your hand.
Hmm.
You can either carry them or you can drop them. That's just the key.
And
And not many people know how to do that.
and last week we switched to getting rid of the live commentary. We went to straight live commentary on Facebook Live and recording the audio commentary
Right.
to kind of give that experience. I mean, you being on the outside here, did you see a difference? Did that make a difference? So you didn't have the commentators carrying the match a little bit when
You're
it
right.
died down?
It didn't, but I guess people still ask me, "Oh, how come how come we didn't hear the guys talking?"
Yeah.
But we were letting them know that if they watch it online or they go online and see the matches, they can hear the
Hear the
commentary.
commentary.
Yes, that's what I told them. So I think it's more for the fans to interact with the wrestlers
Mhm.
instead of the wrestlers interact with the fans. That way, the fans are getting more involved into the matches, and I think it's going to work out in the long run overall. All in all.
Speaking of new, we have, like you said, you were on televisions in different regions, different markets in Texas. You have some announcements to make for the public. What's going on with AAPW as far as television?
Lots of good stuff going on with AAPW and television. Starting March 26th, we're about to launch almost 200 television commercials across Austin and the surrounding counties of Austin. We're about to reach over 582,000 homes
Wow.
in Austin with two commercials advertising our school and advertising our shows. And my main goal coming into this place and having AAPW was to make AAPW a household name, and I think we're about to do that. I'm just very excited. We've been working very hard. We're very diligent and get that goal accomplished because there's a lot of stuff that we want to do, and there's be no reason why we can't have 100 students in this school at one time. There's no reason why I can't do 3 shows a week
Right.
or 4 shows a week because we have that many guys.
Hmm.
You know, and Austin can carry say, hey, we got wrestling in Austin every Thursday night, every Friday night, every Saturday night, matinee, Sunday afternoon. There's wrestling in
Yeah.
Austin. Why not? We can do it. I think we can, and it's gonna happen. So having the publicity of getting the school out there and the words of the school being thrown out there, it's gonna come out really good. I'm very excited
I think
about
it's the
that
benefit too of having. We're the only company that does weekly shows in Austin.
right now. Yes.
You have several other companies that have bi monthly shows or every other
monthly
month.
shows.
But we're the only one where every single Saturday here we have matches put on. We have championships on the line, all sorts of storylines. And the only way to know is to follow us on Facebook, to come in to watch the matches, because we do stream. We are streaming our first match, and then after that we're cutting our feed.
Yes.
So we got some pretty good talent on the card. Talk about our new students that have come in. What are you noticing? Because we've grown already. Our school in the first month that we've been here, we've gotten new students coming in almost pretty much every month. Someone walks through the door, wants to sign up. They're in the ring the
Well,
next week.
we are getting new students coming in, and I'm going to make this comment here. We have new students coming in, but people don't realize that wrestling isn't all cracked up what it is to be. These guys are coming in thinking, oh, what I see on TV, we can do it here in just one day. And they're bursting their bubble.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as easy as you think it is. So they come in here and they give it a shot, and it's not what they thought it was going to be. So we're constantly getting students, but then we're losing students because of that reason. And like I tell people when I interview them, I say, this is what you want to do. This is a dedication, sacrifice you're going to have to put in because, what you see in that show, what you see on TV is only 10% of what's done.
Mm-hmm.
The whole 90% is done here. And so these guys are realizing. But the guys right now that we have right now, I'm proud of them. They're really hungry, and they want to go places, and they want to learn, and they're like sponges. And it's like, I love it because they're open to everything. They're open to every bit of instruction that we have to give and every bit of knowledge that we're throwing at them. And sometimes I wonder if it's too much, but they're catching on pretty quick.
Yeah.
They're catching on pretty quick.
Especially some of the new guys that just came in. They're
Right.
really fast learners. I mean, sitting outside, getting some footage and just kind of watching them train a little bit. It's like you have Vega Del Rio, Matt, right? Who trains,
who helps train the
who
beginner
helps
class.
train them,
Yes,
the
he does
beginner
the
classes,
class. Uh-huh.
and going through it very well, and just seeing them kind of pick it up, try it out. And they might be scared to do a front flip for the first day. They give it a shot and do it well just by listening to very basic instruction. Awesome. Anything exciting that you're wanting to see coming out of AAPW within the next month?
I think it's just building the school up more and more and getting the publicity, getting it ready for the flood. We have a second ring arriving next week.
Yes, we're excited for
ring
that.
number 2 to be coming in here, and I'm even preparing for ring number 3 because I think we're going to need a ring number 3 if everything goes as planned. Third ring is something that I need to already look into order.
Yeah.
To have a third ring. If this one took almost a month and a half to get here, I think a third ring is going to work for the for the building because we can hold 3 rings in here easily. So
There's space in that back
there's
corner.
Space,
Yeah,
there is for another ring. So it's going to be something that we're excited about that, and there's a lot going on. So if guys are out there, people are out there, and they want to come watch the shows, I encourage everyone to come watch the shows. We have great talent here. We got a good group of guys here, and AAPW has homegrown stars. We don't bring in out of town talent now because we got stars here who are our local champions, our local stars here. It doesn't say we won't. But as of right now, we have enough talent to carry this company and carry it through the rest of the year.
And just to comment, because there's a lot of good talent on our roster already. But I want to specifically talk about female talent because right now we only have 1 female in the ring, 2, but 1 who is putting on matches pretty much every weekend, and that is Cheyenne Barr. And the one comment that was made is that because there aren't a lot of females in the ring, it gives her a different style. As a wrestler, as a female wrestler. So what do you have to, what are your comments on training with men, being in a, ring full of men? Does that make the female wrestlers stand out? Because if there aren't any female watchers,
I think it does, and I think it's only going to help her career if she pursues wrestling and keeps going with it, because she can duke it out with a guy in the ring, and she's been training with all guys. It's all she's had the whole time she's been here. Yeah, we have another girl training right now, but she's still, still in the beginning class, so it's going to take a little bit while. But I think once we start catering and we're getting more female wrestlers in here, I think APW can easily have a women's division as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to happen. So I think the men will be big, and I think women will be equally as big as well. So I think Roseanne will have her, I mean, not Roseanne, but Cheyenne, excuse me, Cheyenne will have her opportunity working with a bunch of guys and new girls that are coming in. So, yeah.
I do definitely agree with that, because seeing her, a year ago to today has been completely different. You see the tenacity coming out a little bit more, trying to help with their storyline a little bit, going through that. But she's definitely improved a lot. Who, if I can ask the final question, who do you like to watch the most as far as either with growth, from beginning to end? Who have you seen? Personally, I'll start. I think Shay, one of the students, who's our referee as well.
Yeah.
As far as training in the beginner's class and going through, I mean, the way he's doing his roles, the way from day one to now, even with cardio, you can see the improvement. I think for me, it's always fun to watch, like when I'm outside the ring, guys that have just came in and seeing how far they're improving, just as a fellow student and a fellow worker. Who do you like to watch that's in the ring right now?
I think we have quite a bit of guys in there that I don't like picking out guys individually, because all the guys here are a prize to AAPW,
Right.
every single one of them. And some might take longer to catch it. Some might be quicker. There's guys that you saw some of the guys that I think will be pretty good within a month or two. They'll already have it down, But I think with time, and I think everybody at their own pace will catch on, will learn it, and when it does, there's going to be a place for them here at APW, of course. But I really can't give you names, because all the guys from the top to the bottom, everybody across the board is really good. And if they're not there, give them time. They'll catch it. There's always these guys are hungry, and when you're hungry and you have the desire, you can accomplish a lot in your life.
Awesome. Well, with that, this will end it there. Do you have anything you want to tell the fans for checking out the matches for tomorrow? A little bit of 3 dings of the bell of information for them to keep?
Well, just remember to watch us on our social media. We have a lot of announcements coming up. We have a lot of things going on here at AAPW. And March 26th is a big date for us, because we're all going to be watching TV that day, probably, to get ready for our commercials coming online. And I think it's averaged out to like 4 or 5 commercials per day.
Roughly, I think 5 to 6.
5 to 6,
because we're doing 200s.
It's going to be on there. So it's going to be a lot of channels we're going to be on, and so we're going to be on Spectrum. We're going to be at AT&T. We're going to be in Grande. We're going to be Sutton Link. We're going to be at DirecTV, and so all those markets are all going to be covered all the way through all the way up to a little south of Killeen, all the way past San Marcos. Out toward LaGrange.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
We're going probably reaching Elgin, and then going out to Fredericksburg.
Nice.
So we got a big old area we're covering. So AAPW is about to be on the map, and it's about to be well known here in Austin, a household name for professional wrestling at AAPW.
It's going to be a blast. All right, guys. So